Introduction to Cheminformatics. Hello and welcome. Today we're going to explore a fascinating field that sits at the crossroads of chemistry and computer science. It's called Cheminformatics. If you've ever wondered how scientists discover new medicines so quickly, how researchers screen millions of chemical compounds without stepping into a lab, or how computers can predict whether a molecule might be toxic, then you're about to find out. So, what exactly is cheminformatics? In simple terms, cheminformatics is the use of computer and information science techniques to solve problems in chemistry. It involves collecting, storing, analyzing, and visualizing chemical data using computational tools. Think of it as teaching computers to understand the language of molecules. Now, you might be asking, why should I care about this field? Here's the thing. Cheminformatics has revolutionized how we approach drug discovery, materials science, and even environmental research. What once took years of laboratory experiments can now be accelerated through computational predictions and data analysis. In today's discussion, we'll cover the core concepts of cheminformatics, explore its real-world applications, and understand the tools that make it all possible. Let's dive in. Let's start with the basics. At the heart of cheminformatics lies one central challenge. How do we represent chemical structures in a way that computers can understand? You see, when a chemist looks at a molecule, they see atoms, bonds, and three-dimensional shapes, but computers don't see, they process data. So scientists developed clever ways to translate molecular structures into computer-readable formats. There are several key molecular representations you should know about. First, we have SMILES, which stands for Simplified Molecular Input Line Entry System. SMILES converts a molecular structure into a simple text string. For example, water, H2O, is written as just the letter O in SMILES. Ethanol is written as CCO. It's compact, efficient, and widely used. Second, there's InChI, the International Chemical Identifier. This is another text-based representation, but it's designed to be more standardized and unique for each compound. Third, we have molecular graphs, where atoms are represented as nodes and bonds as edges. This allows us to apply graph theory and machine learning algorithms to chemical problems. Finally, there are molecular fingerprints. These are binary or numerical representations that encode the presence or absence of certain structural features. Fingerprints are especially useful for comparing molecules and searching chemical databases. Now that molecules can be represented digitally, we need somewhere to store them. This brings us to chemical databases, massive repositories containing information about millions, sometimes billions of chemical compounds. Some notable examples include PubChem, maintained by the National Institutes of Health, containing over 100 million compounds. There's also ChEMBL, which focuses on bioactive molecules with drug-like properties. Zinc is a database of commercially available compounds, often used for virtual screening. And DrugBank provides detailed information about approved drugs and their targets. These databases are the backbone of modern cheminformatics research. They allow scientists to search, filter, and retrieve chemical information in seconds, something that would have been impossible just a few decades ago. Let's move on to the exciting part. What can we actually do with cheminformatics? The first major application is drug discovery. This is perhaps the most impactful application. Traditional drug discovery is expensive and time-consuming. It can take over a decade and billions of dollars to bring a single drug to market. Cheminformatics changes the game in several ways. Virtual screening allows computers to predict which molecules are most likely to bind to a disease target instead of testing millions of compounds in a lab. This narrows down the candidates dramatically. QSAR modeling, which stands for Quantitative Structure-Activity Relationship, predicts a compound's biological activity based on its chemical structure. Essentially, these models answer the question, if I change this part of the molecule, how will it affect its behavior? ADMET prediction is another powerful tool. ADMET refers to absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion, and toxicity. These properties determine whether a drug candidate will actually work in the human body. Cheminformatics tools can predict these properties early, saving time and resources. The second major application is materials science. Beyond pharmaceuticals, cheminformatics helps discover new materials, from better batteries to stronger polymers. By analyzing chemical properties computationally, researchers can identify promising candidates for synthesis. The third application area is agriculture and environmental science. Cheminformatics assists in designing safer pesticides, predicting environmental toxicity, and understanding how chemicals behave in ecosystems. Now let's talk about the tools that power cheminformatics. For those with programming experience, several powerful programming libraries exist. RDKit is an open-source toolkit for cheminformatics in Python and C++. It handles molecular manipulation, fingerprint generation, and much more. OpenBabel is a chemical toolkit for converting between file formats and performing basic analyses. ChEMBL and DeepChem are libraries that integrate chemistry with machine learning. Understanding molecules visually is also crucial. Visualization tools like PyMol, Avogadro, and Marvin Sketch help scientists view and edit molecular structures in 2D and 3D. Machine learning is where the field is heading rapidly. Machine learning algorithms, including deep learning and graph neural networks, are now being applied to predict molecular properties, generate new molecules, and even design drugs from scratch. The intersection of artificial intelligence and chemistry is opening doors we couldn't have imagined a decade ago. If you're interested in entering this field, here are some foundational skills to develop. First, chemistry fundamentals. Understanding organic chemistry and biochemistry is essential. Second, programming. Python is the dominant language in cheminformatics. Learn libraries like RDKit, NumPy, and Pandas. Third, data science basics. Familiarity with statistics, machine learning, and data visualization will serve you well. Fourth, database knowledge. Understanding how to query and manage chemical databases is valuable. And fifth, curiosity and persistence. This interdisciplinary field requires continuous learning. Now let's summarize what we've covered today. Cheminformatics is the application of computational methods to chemical problems. It enables us to represent molecules digitally, store them in vast databases, and analyze them using sophisticated algorithms. We discussed key molecular representations, including smiles, InChI, and molecular fingerprints that allow computers to process chemical information. We explored major databases like PubChem and ChEMBL that house millions of compounds for research. We examined real-world applications, most notably in drug discovery, where virtual screening and QSAR modeling are accelerating the identification of new medicines. And we introduced tools like RDKit and the growing role of machine learning in pushing the field forward. Cheminformatics is a field with tremendous potential. As computational power increases and algorithms improve, the ability to understand and manipulate the chemical world will only grow. Whether you're a student exploring career options, a chemist looking to expand your toolkit, or simply a curious mind, cheminformatics offers exciting opportunities at the frontier of science and technology. Keep exploring, keep questioning, and remember, every great discovery starts with curiosity.